Today's WNEM TV5 Evening Extra is brought to you by the Law Office of Carol Thomas.
What was once a place of learning is now an eyesore. The Zimmerman Center, a former Flint school, is now an abandoned site prone to dumping. TV5's James Felton spoke to residents in the area to get their thoughts on this mess.
Oh, it's bad. I mean, a lot of us in this community, we've been trying to make it, we've lived here a while, we're trying to make it look as good as we can. And it's just places where they just can't keep up. They just keep dumping tires and just all kinds of rubbish.
Brian LeMay lives just a short distance away from the former Zimmerman Center School in Flint. The abandoned property is a hotbed for dumpers, with all kinds of trash and debris discarded here.
For the most of us that's been here for a while and own these homes, it depreciates the value of our home.
Fellow resident Kenny Lane also lives near what was once a place of learning.
Well, that don't feel good. But some way I wish that the school would kind of be open up. But I don't know, but the trash don't look kind of good. Just being a resident and they just dumping. You see the way the trash was looking over there.
As you can imagine, Lane would like to see something done about this mess.
It will feel very good if we could have a clean environment.
A passerby told us off camera that there used to be a big dumpster here. People would drop off trash and the dumpster would be emptied. They say that dumpster is gone now, but the same can't be said for the trash.
We should organize some kind of a community effort to try to clean it up.
James Felton, WNEM, TV5.
A spokesperson for the city of Flint tells us the property is owned by Flint Community Schools. We reached out to the superintendent for comment. We're still waiting to hear back. The Flint community invited to come share a meal with neighbors for the first ever Sunday supper at the North Flint Food Market. The community-owned grocery store is providing an affordable dinner option without the stress of cooking. This week's menu features classic favorites such as fried chicken, meatloaf, signature sides, and more. In addition to full dinner plates available for purchase, guests can also enjoy pop for $1 per can and half-price desserts. The North Flint Food Market on Clio Road opens at 8 in the morning. The Sunday supper is available while supplies last. Parents and students in Genesee County, there is still time to sign up to learn more about how to pay for college education. The Genesee County Career and College Access Network is hosting a FAFSA workshop this Monday. High school seniors and their parents can meet with college financial aid reps to get help applying for the free application for federal student aid. The workshop is at the Genesee Intermediate School District on West Maple Avenue from 5:30 to 7:30. To register, just head to the hot link section of WNEM.com. A citywide meeting in Saginaw next week to discuss the future of the water tower. Leaders will meet Wednesday at the water treatment plant. There you can hear updates on the water tower project and discuss the past, present, and future for the treatment plant. The meeting will also allow you to go on a brief tour of the filter gallery inside the plant. Wednesday's meeting starts at 5:30 at the facility on Ezra Russ Drive.
And temperatures around mid-Michigan tonight have come down from the 50s in many areas earlier today. They are in the lower to middle 30s north and middle to upper 30s to the south. Even Lapeer still at 41, but those temps won't be lasting much longer as we cool back down into the 30s this weekend. Our temperatures tonight roughly about 5 to 15 degrees cooler than they were at this time yesterday. If you're headed out for any Friday night plans anytime soon, plan on the wind chills being in the 20s and low 30s, so cooler than our actual temperatures as the winds have picked up quite a bit today. But thankfully, they are on the downturn tonight, anywhere between about 5 and 15 miles per hour. They are coming out of the northwesterly direction. If we look outside, we can see downtown Saginaw is drying out. So the wind did do at least a positive thing today and helped us dry out some of our roads. But just know that any roads that remain wet later on tonight could be a little bit slippery as we start the weekend. Your radar is dry this evening. Your sky tracker not really showing much around the Great Lakes region. Your forecast as we go through the rest of the night shows dry conditions for the next 12 hours before eventually we start to see the snow return towards lunchtime tomorrow. That forecast coming up in a little bit.
Thank you, Chris. 3 people are under arrest for a shooting in Bay City that left an Essexville man fighting for his life. And tonight, investigators tell TV5 all 3 are the sons of that man, Shane Gonko. The shooting happened Wednesday night on the 1000 block of Center Avenue. That's where they found Gonko laying on the ground from a gunshot wound. Earlier today, Bay City Public Safety says a 21-year-old, a 19-year-old man, as well as a 15-year-old boy are in police custody, confirming all 3 are Gonko's sons. Gonko remains hospitalized in critical condition. The case is now with the Bay County Prosecutor's Office. Stay with TV5 for more updates. Midland County Central Dispatch is accepting applications for a new 911 director as its current director is set to retire. The position oversees aspects of 911 operations, including emergency communications, personnel, budgeting, and mission-critical public safety technology. The application period is open through January 26th. To learn more about the position or to apply, head to the Friday Hot Link section on WNEM.com. Tomorrow, Indivisible Central Michigan will be protesting the recent ICE-related shooting. Saturday's protests will be from 11 to 1 on the corner of Mission and Broadway in Mount Pleasant. Organizers are inviting people to join them on the protest line. Across Michigan, Attorney General Dana Nessel is requesting a rehearing on DTE's data center special contracts. The petition was filed to the Michigan Public Service Commission after the utility company was given approval without a hearing to service a 1.4 gigawatt hyperscale AI data center in Washtenaw County. The AG's office says the commission conditionally approved those contracts last month while denying a request to hold a formal case. In the request, Nessel challenges the statutory authority of the commission to approve these special contracts without a hearing. Nessel says the hearing will provide a review of the heavily redacted special contracts, verify DTE's claims of affordability benefits to its ratepayers, and cause no increase in electric rates. A man from the Dominican Republic living in Michigan pleaded guilty to illegally voting in the 2020 election. The Department of Justice says Jose Vasquez Rosa pleaded to 3 counts, including illegal voting by aliens. In 2016, the DOJ says he was illegally living in Michigan and assumed the identity of a Puerto Rican man. Using this fraudulent identity, he applied for a Michigan's driver's license and at the same time was registered to vote. The DOJ says he voted in person in 2018 and again by absentee ballot in 2020. He also tried to illegally get a U.S. passport using the same fraudulent identity, but was denied. Vasquez Rosa faces a maximum penalty of 10 years in prison. Schools in Marquette and Alger County have declined state safety grant funding, citing new language in the state budget. The new language requires schools to submit to certain state investigations when a mass casualty event takes place, but those events are not clearly defined. Educators in Marquette County say this can open schools up to legal liability risks.
To accept the 31AA money for school mental health and school safety, we would have to forego our constitutional rights to attorney-client privilege. That would apply to all of our faculty and staff, our board members, me personally, and I was just not prepared, and our district was not prepared to forfeit our rights as they are outlined in the 6th Amendment of the United States Constitution.
He says in years prior, the state money came without those strings attached. For now, the school districts who refuse the money will have to find other ways to fill the gap or go without. A warning to drivers headed to the Upper Peninsula. The Mackinac Bridge Authority says ice has formed on the upper cables and towers of the bridge, leading to the possibility of a closure due to the risk of falling ice over the coming days or weeks. MDOT says in the past, when ice has fallen, it has damaged cars and in some instances has resulted in death. MDOT says that the bridge has closed 32 times since 1995 because of falling ice. RX Kids is expanding after the break, how it's reaching out to communities to spread the nation's first prenatal and infant cash prescription program. Plus a fun interactive science show at Saginaw's Zoll Library. The special guest still ahead.
Coverage you can count on. This is WNEM.
A disturbing discovery in a southwest Flint neighborhood. Dead dogs dumped by the side of the road. Residents of the neighborhood reached out to TV5. James Felton spoke to the couple who made the discovery and was there when help arrived.
Pretty sad, honestly.
Flint resident Zeb Molina Polibo said he and his girlfriend were walking their dog Thursday when they discovered dead pit bulls here on the side of the street at the intersection of Camden and Ossington Avenue.
I was trying to be nice and let him be adventurous and go through all, he likes the sticks and the rocks and he likes being adventurous. And then I noticed that and started freaking out.
Today we saw a dead brown pit bull in this black bag.
I lost sleep over it. Animals don't have a voice. And just to see that, these animals obviously, had the worst life. They're in a bag, sitting here in a ditch.
That's Zeb's girlfriend, Natalie Amaro. She called Genesee County Animal Control about the finding that has upset neighborhood residents like Cherish Baker.
I have a dog at home myself, so that's very traumatizing. They could have at least dug a hole and put them in the ground. I just feel like that's animal cruelty just to leave a dead dog out here like that.
Moments after our interviews, animal control officers showed up to remove the dead dog.
I'm going to take it back to the station. We're going to microchip it, see if it's been microchipped, if we can find a possible owner for closure on their animal.
Animal Control Director Jay Parker says based on the dog's condition, it appears he wasn't involved in dog fighting and was dead before being placed in the garbage bag. Parker tells us it will be difficult to find whoever left the dog here.
The only thing we can hope for is possibility of looking around at cameras, anything like that might have caught this action. But that's, again, hard to say because this is a very open area.
Animal control officers did not find any other dead dogs. For his part, Molina Polibo wants people to remember dogs are not trash.
It's just sad because he didn't get no respect, He definitely deserved a burial. I know somebody somewhere loved him.
James Felton, WNEM, TV5.
If anyone has information, they can contact Genesee County Animal Control. New at 6, the owner of the Bad Axe Theater is charged on accusations of sexually assaulting a teenager. The Huron County prosecutor says Mark Rolfe is accused of assaulting the teen between 2006 and 2008. The teen worked at the theater, and one of the assaults is claimed to have happened at the theater. If Rolfe is found guilty, he could face up to life in prison and electronic monitoring.
It'll look outside tonight at downtown Flint. The vehicle city lit up nicely on this Friday evening. Everything looks like it's dried out from any rain that we picked up. A lot of rain in some areas last night and some pretty loud thunder, but things have improved greatly as we've gone throughout this afternoon as far as the dryness. It's just the fact that our temperatures have also dropped, which has been the trade-off. And those temperatures are dropping ahead of our next chance for snow. Saturday and Sunday arrives around noon on Saturday, if not just slightly earlier. A brief round of freezing drizzle is possible for at least some parts of mid-Michigan at the beginning, so don't be surprised if you see that. But I think that is more of a here and there thing. Your winter weather advisories are just for the top row of our counties, Roscommon, Ogama, and Iosco. Those go into effect 10 o'clock tomorrow morning and last until 10 o'clock on Sunday morning, so roughly about a 24-hour period. I think this speaks to the snowfall potential around the area, that it's primarily just these northern zones and areas to our west that are included in that advisory. I think this is a pretty easy snowfall to get through for most of us, or I should say standard snowfall for us to get through. But we'll, of course, let you know if anything changes before we get underway tomorrow. We still have roughly about 12 hours of data to get through before eventually we start seeing the final picture here. Your first alert, pinpoint Doppler radar shows dry conditions tonight. Sky Tracker doesn't show much of anything around the region. The rain from earlier today is now history, and the wind is starting to come down as well. Your TV5 first alert hour-by-hour forecast shows anyone who manages to break up the clouds tonight, which I don't think is many areas, will see those fill back in with cloud cover overnight. Temperatures will likely drop off to the 20s as we start the day tomorrow, and then once we get closer to lunchtime, you see the snowfall move back in. Our western counties first, and then it gradually overspreads the rest of the region as the afternoon goes on. You'll also notice as we get further into the evening that the snow is pretty widespread through about dinner time, but then an area of dry air or a dry slot moves in, which will shut down snow for at least a time. So we are keeping tabs on how this evolves as we go through the evening hours on Saturday. We did adjust some of our snowfall totals because of this dry slot that's moving through. However, we do expect snow to at least circle back around once to add just a little bit more before it comes to an end. So even though it may stop in some areas briefly Saturday night, know that it's possible that we get a little bit more before Sunday is over. Snowfall potential, not a huge change from our map earlier today, but with that dry slot moving in, we've lowered the floor in this area just a bit to 2 to 5 instead of 3 to 5. And we've also added a little bit of a higher zone in northern Huron County just for the potential of any heavier snow showers off the lake. Generally speaking, still about 1 to 3 inches south of US 10. And that's your forecast as we go into Friday night. Your forecast for the next 7 days shows temperatures will be in the 30s as we head towards early next week, but then a return to the January 20s by the end of next week.
Protesters gathered around a memorial for Renee Good in Minneapolis this afternoon after she was shot and killed by an ICE officer yesterday. Protests were also held in other cities across the country, including here in mid-Michigan. Some people in Saginaw gathered to voice their opinions on what happened in Minnesota. TV5's Meredith St. Henry was there and explains what they hope comes of their protest.
About 50 people came out in front of the Saginaw County Courthouse to protest against ICE.
We want ICE off of our streets. We feel that they're not trained and that the death of the poor woman in Minnesota was something that didn't have to happen.
Like a lot of people, we can't sleep. We're sick to our stomach. It didn't have to happen.
The protest was put on by Fight for Democracy Mid-Michigan.
This is a, all of a sudden one that we do. Sometimes we have to for certain issues, but we do 3 or 4 protests a month in Saginaw County. We've been doing it for a year.
Protesters lined the sidewalk chanting,
"For real leaders! Vote for real leaders!"
It's important because this isn't the country we lived in. I'm 69 years old and I've never seen this in this country.
And many protesters were holding signs.
Well, it's the person who was murdered in Minnesota. She needs to be remembered because it's going to be glossed over.
The protesters hope the rally will bring visibility and awareness.
You know, we get a lot of people out here who are responsive and happy that we're here. And I feel like, sometimes, like I said, the only thing you can do is be visible, and perhaps we'll change even one person's idea.
And make good choices for yourself. Research for yourself and make good choices for yourself. Instead of hearing what the top person says and believing it. You gotta think for yourself.
The organizer of this event plans on holding a protest in Baldwin, Michigan in front of an ICE detention center in February. In Saginaw, Meredith St. Henry, TV5 News.
A protest over the shootings organized by Indivisible Central Michigan is planned tomorrow in Mount Pleasant at the corner of Mission and Broadway streets from 11 to 1. More local news. Communities are encouraged to apply for RX Kids. The program is launching open applications to bring the support to moms and babies following a bipartisan state investment. RX Kids, the nation's first community-wide prenatal and infant cash prescription program, provides $1,500 during pregnancy and $500 per month for the first 6 months of their child's life. The state budget made a historic $250 million investment to expand RX Kids across the state over the next 3 years. Cities, health departments, or nonprofits willing to serve as the RX Kids community champions must apply by February 14th. You can do so through the hot link section of WNEM.com. Tomorrow, families can join in on a magical science experience. Dr. Slime is coming to Saginaw's Zoll Library for a fun science show. The interactive science presentation gives kids a fun chance to learn with a fun way of activities on chemistry, physics, and more. Dr. Slime will be at the Zoll Library on North Center Road tomorrow at 2. Children under 7 will need an adult helper. The Carlton Township Recreation Department is looking for new members. Those interested do not have to live in the township to apply. Members are required to attend a monthly meeting on the first Tuesday of each month at 7, earning $60 a meeting. You must be at least 18, pass a background check, and have time to volunteer to help with sports programs. You can apply in the Hot Link section on WNEM.com. All new tonight, from Britney Spears magazines to cell phones without texting. A time capsule is connecting generations. Find out what students today think of life in the year 2000 and the powerful message it holds on News at 10 on the Great Lakes Sports and Entertainment Network. Then on TV5 News at 11, with heightened tensions over law enforcement actions, what are your rights if you record something in public? Also at 11, our game of the week and many more high school basketball highlights in Fast Break Friday.
All right, your 7-day shows. We've got 30s right through the start of early next week. We've got 20s returning by Thursday and Friday. The weekend snow primarily starts around the afternoon for many of us Saturday. Not a huge snow, about 1 to 5 inches over the course of the area. Heaviest snowfall a little bit further to the north towards our northern counties that are under advisory. So I would say more of an inconvenience tomorrow and Sunday than anything, but obviously be careful on the roads. And for those who want the ground to be recoated with snow, well, here's your chance.
I was going to say, I just saw the grass for the first time today, and that's going to be covered again. Thank you, Chris. And if you want to hear more about the weather, you can head on over to our digital live stream at 9 o'clock tonight. Join that stream at WNEM.com, on the TV5 YouTube and Facebook pages, on our Roku and Fire Stick channels, and on the TV5 News app. Thank you for watching WNEM Evening Extra. Of course, keep up with us online as the news breaks. We'll see you back here on TV5 at 11.